Hey, good morning. Today is Friday, November 7th. It is 7:28 a.m. Central Time. So government is still shut down, so not too much as far as being released, but kind of looking at Fed comments. Rates are close to neutral. Um, Overall economy is little change over the few months, so we'll take that with a grain of salt. I guess Tesla got his $1 trillion package approved, which people were talking about on the news, where it's kind of unprecedented and all that stuff. Um, so we'll kind of see what that looks like. Today we have the Michigan sentiment prelim, so I think that should be released, and so that may offer some movement. And then I guess on Monday the U.S. tariff deadline. So maybe that's what we're doing since we're not haven't got like an official resolution potentially. I mean, I know there's a lot of good meetings and all that, but maybe that's what's happening with all the sell-offs. A lot of folks are on the news also talking about positive earnings, but negative reactions. So I think maybe we'll just see. And also, this is meant to be like the a good seasonal month, but we're starting off pretty red, and so maybe we're selling off so we can close strong. Who knows? But it's just interesting to kind of see how people have switched. Like AI is amazing and everything's up, and then now everybody's like, oh, here's all the reasons why. Um, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. Doing a quick AI kind of sentiment check. Obviously looking at price action, NQ is bearish, ES I think is bearish, and then gold I guess is trying to rebound. Seems to be the kind of consensus across the board there, which is in line with what we're seeing in the price action. And then today on Friday, I don't see any standout earnings that I'm really paying attention to. So I don't, yeah, I'm not really paying attention to any of these earnings. So there you go. So I guess really quickly on the price action here, we can just look at all the indexes. Yeah, so I mean, NQ is just making new lows. So here you go. We have this breakdown: lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And so now we're getting into this area where we broke down last time. I think this was that other tariff thing. I think the China rare earth situation. So we're back at that level where we kind of broke down. And so now we see if we keep going. Um, and so definitely be watching that. Same thing on the ES. Russell is leading us down. So I think if we lose this low, that would be very telling, I think. So if we lose this low at 2380s, I think that'll be very telling. So you shall see. If we can lose that, I think we probably test these lows of the whole China thing. It won't happen right away, but we'll see. So I'll definitely be watching that, see if we can sweep it and bounce, and if we break it and really close below it, then that could be something to really pay attention to. Watching this 44 600s, let's say, on the Dow. Let's see what happens there. See, something's happening with the VIX. We're up and up and up, clawing back to 20. Dollar's kind of pulling back after we got to this level. I guess we'll call it a resistance level. Similar with the treasury yields. Quite interesting. And in gold is just kind of, again, we're just consolidating. Nice little wedge pattern situation. I don't know if we're going to break up or break down, but all these green closes makes me think like we are trying to push up. So we'll just see how that goes. I think there's definitely been more follow through in the NQ and ES to the downside. And gold has just been kind of sideways. So we'll just kind of see what that looks like. And actually, just really quickly on Bitcoin versus gold. So Bitcoin's down back to 100. Um, so we'll just see if that all holds. If we break below that, um, and so gold is holding up better than Bitcoin. So that's kind of interesting. But we are kind of in this wedge flag pattern situation. So we'll just see which way it goes. And then for the Megatech, So Apple's holding up, which is interesting. While everything's selling off, Apple's still holding up. Microsoft, whew, wow, selling off nicely. Amazon, we had that big kind of push up, and now we're down, down, down. Pre-market, we're a little bit lower. Do we close that gap? You know, that feels like people would want it. Google, holding up pretty good. So Apple and Google are still holding us up. Amazon's falling, Microsoft's falling, Meta's falling, Nvidia. There you go. That's what's happening with us. So Nvidia is falling. So that is a tell. We'll see if Apple and Google are next. I feel like that might be something to pay attention to. Apple or Google falling and following Nvidia. Tesla just trying with that Musk package and all that, and the Qs are really nice pullback. So let's see. I mean, I guess the thing is with relative strength, like Apple and Google are relatively strong. So if the Qs rebound, then these are going to make new highs potentially, or at least retest. But if we don't, then maybe they follow Nvidia. So something to kind of pay attention to. And then for the Mega Spy, so you got Broadcom eked out the high, falling, kind of rebounding. Berkshire rebounding after kind of falling off. JP Morgan Chase almost at highs. That's interesting. So it's something to watch here. Like as everything is falling, JP Morgan is eking out near highs. And so I don't know if this is relative strength where we're going to break new highs if S&P kind of pauses, or this is really good risk reward short for JP Morgan. So it's interesting. This is something I'm kind of will want to pay attention to here. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think I'll put this on one of my watch list actually. If I can, I'll do that later, or can I? Yeah, there used to be an option where you can just add it to watch list. I can't find it anymore, which is odd. LOI, same thing. We're kind of at highs again. They had positive earnings, so maybe that's what's fueling it. But it's interesting that they're going up near highs while everything else is kind of falling over. Costco kind of holding up. I think I feel like Netflix is going to 1,000. Visa's holding up. I think if Visa breaks, then we'll watch JP Morgan. But that is kind of on my radar a little bit. So that's interesting there. And let's see, for, I guess, quick look on options flow. So in the last 3 days, if we look, just take away price on the Qs. Oh, there we go. So more puts, neutral than yesterday, a lot more puts. So there you go. And it looks like price kind of went down. We're hitting this big dark pool level here. So we'll just see. It feels like maybe we're buying into support. So that's something I will keep in mind today, the 610.90. But then I guess if we break below that, you can kind of see all this red, which is like negative gamma situation. So expect more, like we're in this negative gamma pocket, right? And so flushes have been sold, which is interesting, right? Like up here, it's sold, people sold, and like we're just going. So if we can break below here, I think there's more downside based on this gamma situation. But if this dark pool level can hold, which coincides with this support level, let's see if we can push back up and spike back up. So that'll be interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. So on the SPY, if we take out price here, so not as pronounced as the Qs, so much more neutral, I think. Um, like people are buying calls a little bit more, but it's end of the day neutral. End of the day neutral. And then we look at kind of where we are, but we're kind of in this like negative gamma pocket situation. So I don't know if like if we shoot down to this support, maybe. So I will be just kind of watching there. And then for gold is just kind of, like flat. So it's very muted. It was muted. Puts tried to win here, muted, and now you had a lot more puts, and so we'll see. We had a lot more puts the other day like that, and price went up. So we'll see. I mean, price is kind of going down, but we'll see how that goes. Again, I don't know what expiry this premium is, but people are piling in a bit more on the short side there, it looks like. And then for where we are, I mean, big dark pool level right here, big dark pool level, and um, yeah, big dark pool level where we are, and I guess positive gamma situation. So more chance for price to kind of hang out right here for a while if you kind of follow that theory. But I mean, it's interesting that we just have a lot transacted here. So really, I'm just going to see how price behaves if we break below or break above. So there you go. So that's what things look like. So I think for the trading chart, oh, yes. Yeah, and so for me on the trading chart, this is electronic trading hours. So obviously I'm watching the pre-market low. I'll be watching 25 200s and see how we do when we get up there, and then obviously the 25 300s. So if we break this low and it's convincing and we kind of push back up maybe to 25 150s and fall over, we'll take it. But really just kind of seeing it. I mean, obviously short looks like the way, but we are at that dark pull level. So open to be surprised and having a push up. Um, so we'll see. I think we'll just have to see. I mean, like here, even pre-market, we broke this low around 10, but then we shot up like 180 points and then we fell over. So I think those B range, maybe we push up 150, 180, 200 before we fall over again. Um, so that's what things look like on the cues for me. And then on the I guess it would be a similar thing on the ES. Like plan would be the same, just kind of seeing how we get up to these levels, like VWAP and all that. And if we fall over, if we break the low and it's convincing, wait for a pushback up and kind of follow. But yeah, I think I'll be watching the queue for kind of leading us which direction, and then maybe there's a play here in the SPY. But I think the plan would be very similar. And then for gold, I think because we are basically in the middle of the range now, where we're going to open. So I'm open to both sides, I think, just because we're in that green gamma area. Um, we had this breakdown, and then we pushed up into this breakdown level, consolidated, and now we're kind of falling back over. But we're back in the middle of the range near VWAP, so I need to wait for price to get away from VWAP before I make any trades. I think it's too, yeah. I mean, there could be, depending on how volume and everything opens, if we open near VWAP and everything is red or everything is green, maybe there's a quick scalp in that direction, like a this, like a quick green type thing. Or like yesterday, we did have that push up, which we did go up and caught a little bit, but we went back over. So I think, I might be open to just following what price is doing in the morning. Like here, there was, this green, we gapped up and there was a little bit of green to catch here, but then we did fall over, right? So I'm open to that as well. But I think I'll be watching the NQ and just seeing how things go. Cool. Well, that's it for me. Good luck and don't get caught. Thank you.